what would be the trigger point which would say either these stocks have reached Humpty Dumpty level,
Correct.
or these stocks are nearing their end of the cycle?
Correct.
Because mean reversion is the biggest truism in the market.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
ultimately, one day these stocks will peak out.
Nothing is permanent. I agree
Nothing
with
is
you.
permanent.
Nothing is permanent.
Okay.
So,
So what would be that point?
So there are two ways of doing it. I would think of it. That one is that a lot of people, as valuations go up, prices go up, they tend to trim, and a little trimming does happen for a portfolio manager like me is in terms of reallocation. When you buy a new stock, you find that your allocation there is low, and you do a little bit of things, and very often these winners get trimmed. But the broader question is that when will you exit? I am a trend follower, and my strategy or style in life is never to try to look for the bottom or the top, because theoretically and practically those don't happen. Sorry, theoretically they do happen, but practically they don't happen. So I'm very often, I am a little late in buying and I'm a little late in selling. But the important part is that the meat is in the middle.
Yeah.
And for me, coming to answering your question, that I don't think I'll sell at the top. I don't know the top. Actually, nobody knows the top. That's the beauty. The fact is that when the trends change, and trends will change, two things will happen. One is that the earnings, the trend in earnings will get affected. And number two, that the price and volumes will show it. When that will happen, I don't know. As I said, I personally think, or history tells me, a study of cycles tell me that these sectors or themes tend to be longer than what we are used to the past. That's why I said that you have to mentally get yourself that, okay, it's gone up. That doesn't mean, why fear something that's gone up? The greatest wealth creators in this country, stocks, have been going up and making lifetime highs. They were never cheap. So just because of that, if you're going to feel shy, I think you're going to miss the larger trends.
I'm going to show you a graphic, which is that 14 years ago, what was the level of Nifty, what was the level of GDP, and what has happened to the per capita income of India. And now, of course, for stock markets to grow, the GDP has to grow. But interestingly, one really looks at the data point. The Nifty, well, you're looking at a low base largely because you're coming off that 2008 famous crash. But Nifty has gone from 4,000 to about 18,000. India's GDP has gone from 1.2 billion to about 3 billion, 3.7 billion. And the per capita income has just doubled. Now, markets have not followed that same appeal. Why? Next slide. Look at the number of demat accounts. Look at the number of people who've participated. And that is the true nature of the economy which has changed. The economy may have changed or may have become 2x. The per capita income may have not gone up, may have just doubled, but the stock market have actually become more than 4.5 times. And that just tells you that how the nature of the economy, Atul, is changing.
That's right. And also to some extent, markets are forward-looking. If you look at India and you go back, you look at the demographic story.
Yeah.
Is actually the biggest theme. And it's not just you and me. It's coming to our lips, or we are realizing right now. But a lot of investors globally have realized this much earlier. And you can see it on day to day. Just a side thing. If you travel to Europe, you go to any country, right? You go to a restaurant, there will be not more than 2 or 3 people serving you. The same person takes the order. Yeah. They prepare the bill. Sometimes they go to the kitchen and also cook.
Yeah.
That's the kind of service. You go to any European hotel, you pay 200, 300 pounds, right? There is nobody to even pick up your bags. Even at the check-in counter, even anywhere of that. In India, for that same price, any 5-star available cheaper, you don't have to touch your bags, you don't have to wait for check-in, you're escorted to your room. So what really happens is that I think that some of these countries have kind of peaked. Either you have a better demographic position, which they don't, and they can't just change it in a day, or you allow immigration. They have blocked up immigration or immigrants, and they are not allowing people to come in. So from that point of view, you will realize that this demographic benefit that we are going to have as a country, what we can provide to the world, is what is really lacking here. So I think it's a big play that's happening out, and that is really what makes and that's the kind of numbers that you put out. That's what really makes you optimist. See, 3%, 5% correction, those are part of life. Yeah, that will keep happening. But I think the broader theme is up, and I feel that hopefully another 14 years.